You're listening to the AFTERBUZZ TV Network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Ian Johnson.
From the AFTERBUZZ Studios in Los Angeles, California, filling in for the great Sir Richard Wentworth is Phil Svitek. Tonight's episode of AFTERBUZZ TV is for Smash. Tonight's hosts are Tamara Berg, Kendra Kabasele, and Michelle Macedo. If you'd like to buzz in at this late hour, it's 424-256-1729. That's 424-256-1729. And now, picking up where the show leaves off and the buzz continues, it's AFTERBUZZ TV Smash!
Hey everybody, welcome! This is exciting. We're seeing a new show, Smash, the pilot. It's been out for a couple of weeks on iTunes, but we all wanted to see it fresh tonight.
Yes, wanted to be surprised.
I had no idea it was out for.
Yeah, it's been out. It's been at least 3 weeks that I've heard about. Yeah,
that
it was out. But I wanted to see it fresh and live, like the old-fashioned days when you could only see things as they were happening on TV at the moment that they were.
Couldn't buy them after that.
Yeah, exactly. So first of all, I think we should just go over our first impressions of the show. What do you think?
You want to go ahead?
Sure. I
Jump
feel
in,
like
ladies.
It's this network's version of Glee. I think they need something like musical. They need something that can pop. I think that it's a good demographic. Obviously, it could go really wrong. But I think it went really, really well.
Okay, excellent. What did you think, Kendra?
It's funny. I don't watch Glee, so I don't really have that comparison. But I enjoyed it. It held my attention.
Yeah.
And I agree. I think it could go either way.
Yeah.
It's because they're stringing the whole storyline along. It seems the whole season. It could get a little.
Yeah, I want to talk about that later, but it's going to be interesting to see where they go from here. A pilot is always hard because I've written them, and obviously we've all watched them. You're trying to cram every character who's important into that first hour. You have to introduce them, but do it cleverly. Mm-hmm. You have to show the relationships, and you have to not make it look like you're doing all that stuff.
Yeah,
exactly.
And so I think they did a really good job with that in this episode. They didn't tell us too much, because that's one of the cardinal sins of writing pilots is they go, "Hi, my name's Tamara, and I do the AFTERBUZZ on Thursday nights," whatever.
Yeah.
And it becomes it's all exposition, and it drives many of us crazy. So I thought they did a really good job with that. Now, I did see an interview this morning on something with Deborah Messing, or maybe it was yesterday. It was today, where she was talking about how people are comparing it to Glee. And I have watched Glee from the beginning, and you and I did the Glee project together a couple of times. And she was saying that it's really nothing like Glee, except that Glee created the space for this show to come. Glee has 5 or 6 songs in every show, and this had 3.
Oh, yeah.
And those stories basically are encapsulated in one episode, and this obviously they're running much longer storylines. So I can see the comparison, but I agree with her when she says, it's really not the same thing. But but they do kind of create.
It's just like incorporating music and and musical theater. Once you think about it, it's like a great idea because so many people love musicals.
And it's been tried a lot of times on TV. They try to do musicals. You guys wouldn't remember this because this was a really long time ago and it was a big giant flop, but Cop Rock.
Oh, no, I don't remember
Anybody
that.
who does remember it is laughing with me right now. It was a musical as a television series about police officers. And it was in the had to be early 90s, I think is what it was.
Wow.
And they would literally, go solve a crime and then all of a sudden start dancing and singing, and it was really odd.
What channel was that?
It was a network channel. It was, it was a big deal, but it was absolutely the subject of much scorn. And if there are any little bits of it on YouTube, just look at them because they're funny. So let's get into our segments that we wanted to talk about. First of all, let's talk about the two leads. We can talk about all the characters, but talk about the first two leads. So we have Karen, played by Katharine McPhee, and then we have Ivy, played by Hilty.
Yes.
Go.
Well, we all know that Katharine McPhee was on American Idol.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I feel like this part is exactly what at least the audience sees that she pretty much went through on American Idol, going from like no one, girl next door. She's angry about her typecast, which I get.
Yep.
I'm the girl
Really?
next door too.
Do ya?
So and she, has all the normal people problems, auditions and stuff, and then there's like the bombshell blonde. I don't know a lot about Hilty, do you?
No, I don't. She's a singer. I mean, isn't that her main? That's where she came from. Is she's a singer. But I don't know a lot about her either. So obviously, Katharine McPhee is much more in our consciousness because of American Idol.
Right.
What were your impressions of either one of them?
I was impressed, and I know while we were watching, I asked you guys, "Is this her debut, acting gig?" And we found out she was in
Shark Attack.
Shark Night 3D.
Or Shark Night 3D.
Which
sorry.
Phil actually made me watch.
Who did she play?
Remember, she was a girl that she got eaten.
Did she? Oh,
They all
you
get
just
eaten.
Gave it away.
Isn't that the whole point of the
but-
film?
Except for the
Oh, I
guy
didn't
and the
know.
girl at the end, they all get eaten.
Okay,
Yeah,
now
by
you
the-
just gave that away.
I was just talking to somebody about this yesterday, and they were talking about how Katharine McPhee in Shark Night.
Night.
Sorry, Shark Night, not
3D.
Shark Attack, Shark Night.
By the way, real quick, I do want to make the
just a
point
night.
while we're talking about movies. We will February 23rd and 24th
Yes,
be doing
we will.
Oscars from
Oscar-nominated films.
from the gifting suite over at the Mondrian Hotel. So that's live from noon to 6 p.m. Thursday and Friday. That's Pacific Standard Time. The reason I bring that up is just
Because I'm doing The Artist and I'm doing Hugo. That's why.
No, because Shark Night honestly should have been nominated
Am
for
I
Best
doing
Picture.
Shark Night? Can
Best
I
Picture.
do the pictures that should have been nominated?
Okay, Phil, tell
Anyway.
us why you say that.
No,
go.
who did no? But
It
to
has
make this
no
relevant
sense.
to Smash, who does she
Yeah.
play in Shark Night? Michelle, you got to help me out here.
She plays like the badass girl. Remember?
Okay,
She gets
all right.
eaten. The
Yes.
perverts go. She leaves everyone there because she turns out to be like selfish. And then the pervert goes and like puts her in the tank and then she gets eaten.
And just the shark spit her out because she doesn't taste good.
No.
No?
No. Barracuda or piranha or whatever. She was eaten by the little baby sharks or something. That was really bad. Remember, Phil?
Don't look to
Basically,
me for confirmation.
in short, awesome movie.
Okay.
It was awful.
She did a wonderful job.
The one thing I heard was that her body was like, she looked like she was sculpted out of stone in that movie. Like, just
There you
looked
go.
amazingly,
she did.
amazingly
She had to
beautiful.
take off her clothes. She had to be in her like undies.
One would hope if you have a body like that.
Yeah, and so I think that it had to go there.
no.
Oh yeah. No.
So all that to say,
Not
Yes.
our lucky day.
Yes, Kendra, were you in the middle of a point?
yeah,
Oh,
that's
okay.
okay.
Go ahead.
I like
ahead.
segues. No, that this was her second gig, so I thought she did pretty well, and
I thought her acting was really good.
yeah, and maybe she drew from her American Idol experience, as well as maybe she had an acting coach. I don't
Yeah.
know. She could
Yeah.
call in and let us know, maybe.
Well, maybe. I loved the scene with the audition where she walked in, and I'm pretty sure I've told this story before, Michelle, but she walked in and everyone she's brunette, obviously, not looking like Marilyn Monroe to begin with, and everyone's there blonde in the pink diamonds are a girl's best friend outfit. And that takes, you either have to be incredibly naive or incredibly confident or both to do that sort of thing, to walk into an audition. And I went to an audition many years ago, probably at least 10 years ago, and it was an accent audition. It was a British accent audition.
Awesome.
And so, I walked in and I'd worked on my accent a lot, and walked in, sit down to next to another girl. And it was also a redhead audition. That was the other thing, because I had red hair then. And
what? You had red hair?
I did.
Naturally?
No.
Okay.
This is my natural color.
Okay.
It was red.
Wow.
It was cool. It's hard to maintain though. Anywho, so everybody's redheads. We sit down. I sit down next to the girl next to me. And I go, "Hey, how's it going?" She goes, "Quite fine, thank you very much." And she gives me this really stupid,
please.
effective
She was
British
in
accent.
character.
I was like, "Oh, you're one of those." And that was the idea that kind of came back to me in this, where everybody was like,
Yeah.
Yeah,
You know?
exactly. Totally.
"Why I don't act anymore?" It's
In the
that kind of
past
thing.
2 years that I've been like hit the ground running, pursuing acting, like the horrific audition stories, it's just amazing.
Yeah.
It's just amazing how awful it is, how humiliating it is, the things that they can make you do.
Yeah.
And you just and walking into, and then no one else looks like you. And then the casting director's phone goes off in the middle of it.
That was great. That was such a great opener
Yes,
because
it
you've
was.
been there and
Yeah.
I've been there and everybody's been there in some form where
Yeah.
people are not giving you the respect and admiration that you
No.
deserve.
People
We've
are
all
not
been
giving
through
you
that.
anything. Yeah, and so then that interrupted in her head, which I wish I could go there as
Yeah.
clearly. In her head, her fantastic performance was interrupted by the cell phone.
Yes, it was.
But
Yes, it was.
we all know she's super talented.
Yes, we do.
She gets a call
I
back.
see
She
it.
gets whatever because she's different. And then she has to prove her sex
Sexy
appeal,
side.
which
Yeah. Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a whole nother mess in itself. I
Right.
don't know if we
Yeah.
are going to go into it now, but
So we got to see a lot more of McPhee this episode than we did Ivy. I mean, Ivy did have the one big kind of production number, but we didn't get a lot of her backstory, really, did we? Not as
Just
much.
about
I didn't
her
feel like we did.
parents. Just about the parents.
Yeah.
That's about it.
Yeah,
And that she is alone,
right,
or at least I think so.
right. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to learning more about her, and I'm just fascinated to think about where they're going to go with this show, which again we'll talk
Yeah.
about later.
Exactly.
So, anything else you want to say about the two leads? Because I there's a lot more I want to talk about on the show, and if there's nothing else, I'd like to move on to the next topic.
Let's move on.
Okay, so the next one is the business of the theater. It's a fascinating world. It has its own rhythm. I was talking outside before the show started about how, or was it you who was talking about? Yeah, it was you talking about how the theater is really respected, and being an actor in New York, you're really respected, and in Los Angeles, you are, as
trampled on.
McPhee's family said. You're an actor. No, I'm a waiter. I mean,
Yeah,
that's-
exactly. And the
title.
It's not
family
respected
part,
here.
yeah, was so was so familiar.
That's topic 3.
Oh, are we not on that yet?
No, we're on 2. We're still in the business of theater.
Oh,
But just
yeah.
talking about how the theater. I have a strict list that I'm
She got
abiding
a
by.
list, I forgot.
The business of the theater. So we saw all these powerful people. We saw Anjelica Huston playing Eileen, getting divorced from her power husband,
Jerry.
who it sounded to me like he was a film producer, right? That's kind of what I
Yeah.
got, because they were talking about him working at Lionsgate and having a script for Derek or something like that. So big power couple, beautiful sets and things like that though too in this. That rehearsal hall. What rehearsal hall looks
was
like that?
Beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah, no, usually you probably don't get that much space.
Right.
And all those windows.
Yeah,
Are you
it's in
kidding?
New York City.
No.
Yeah, just not gonna happen.
But oh gosh, where was I going? The business of the
powerful
theater, the
people.
power couple. Oh, so we also got to meet Julia and Tom, who are partners. They're creating together. That's Deborah Messing and the guy who plays Tom, Christian Borle. Borle. Interesting couple. They've obviously worked together for a long time. They love and adore each other, finish each other's sentences. So and then you also saw Tom arriving at the theater, watching the production going on. So any impressions or thoughts that you guys had about how the business of the theater was portrayed?
Well, yes. Firstly, so I went to acting school in Boston, and a ton of my friends were in the BFA musical theater program.
Oh, yeah.
Well, there's 12 of them, and Actually, I was just talking to them. One of my friends is on tour with South Pacific, and she just like gives me the basic rundown of how auditions go in New York, and it sounds horrific. I mean, it sounds awful. To become like equity is really difficult. It sounds like everyone's going to these auditions. You get up in the morning, you sign up, and then you hope all day that they'll see you. And if they don't, then they don't. But then you still waited there the whole day and all that stuff. But obviously, they didn't go into any of that, like those as specific details, because these girls are at the final callback stages or at that like level.
Right.
But definitely for the audition songs, the song that Katharine McPhee sang, Beautiful by Christina Aguilera, my musical theater friend who saw the pilot hated that. She was like, it would never happen. And it would never happen.
Because you sing songs from musicals. Right?
And obviously not usually, you don't want to pick a song that everybody does, but that like
it's unavoidable.
No one knows. Exactly. So yeah, I thought that was like a little hokey. It's like in Center Stage or something when she's at the dance audition for Juilliard and they're like, you're in. You got it. There, you're in, Julia Stiles, because you made up some hip hop.
But so that would never happen? They wouldn't
No, that
accept,
would,
like,
no.
would they stop her mid?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
Like, she'd be like, like,
I
she wouldn't even,
yeah.
Oh, okay.
I don't even think she would get it out because what she was saying was American Idol was like pop, R&B. That's not even the genre.
They even asked, what
are you singing?
Prepare, and she didn't even answer. She was just,
I'm just gonna
just go with this. Yeah.
Yeah. You may have seen me
She
from
made a
American
choice.
Idol.
Yeah. I know.
It's like totally different style of singing, and obviously, I think part of the reason why New York theater actors are so respected is because you can't do it without training. To do 8 shows a week takes like so much physical stamina, and you have to be able to be a triple threat and all that stuff. And I guess in LA, a lot of people work even without training.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, they do.
Yeah. So, I feel like that's part of the reason for that.
One of the things did you find $5?
And then I found $5. Okay. Yeah, then I just found
One
$5.
of the things that I liked about the beginning when they were setting things up, because it was a lot of fast pace, a lot of meeting people, a lot of trying to figure out who everybody was. And early on in the show, what was his name? The assistant, Ellis said, Marilyn Monroe, that should be, and Julia, Deborah Messing's character says, huge flop. It was a huge flop, or no one's ever going to do it. It's a huge flop. And that came back 3 times. Oh, yeah, somebody's in Geomag. Oh, it's a huge flop.
Right.
Can't be done. It's going to be a huge flop. And then they talked about Spider-Man, the musical.
Yes.
And what a disaster that had been. So I like that they are interlacing real stories, because most of the time when they're trying to bring out that sort of concept in television or film, because they want it to be more current for a longer time, they make up the comparison stories. But I like that they were using live real comparison stories and real references, because then you could relate to it a little more and go, oh yeah, I heard about that Spider-Man.
Right.
Woo!
Yeah, that's true.
So I liked that. Anything about the business that struck you? Are you in showbiz?
Not in
Missy?
that type of showbiz.
Beyond like right here?
I mean, I've been to shows.
Sure.
My mom lives in New York, so I've been to Kiss of a Spider Woman. Out here, I've seen Sweet Charity. I enjoy watching them. I just didn't really know all of the behind the scenes.
So how did you like the portrayal of it, or did you like the portrayal of it?
I actually kind of went into it thinking it would have been more cutthroat. So it's interesting that you said that certain things never would have happened in in reality. So I don't know if they did that on purpose, or if it's like just a soft introduction to everyone who doesn't watch a lot of musicals. Or so I'm gonna keep watching and see. Yeah. It's the pilot, so.
Well, and there's going to be obviously a ton of behind the scenes as we're going forward, and there will be injuries and heartbreak and backstabbing and undermining and all of that good stuff that we watch TV for in the first place. So some of the heartbreak that we probably would see during the audition process, well, it'll come later. I'm sure it will, because they just had to, again, pack in so much because it was the pilot.
Yeah.
which I think I think I want to take us into our third segment, if we may. Deborah Messing, who plays Julia, talking to her husband in the kitchen, and he's saying early on, "I hate the theater."
Yeah.
I even wrote that down too.
Because they're adopting a child.
Yes.
So one of the topics that I wanted to discuss with you guys was family, because family came up for almost every character in this. Wow,
Yeah.
that's some dead air.
Yeah.
I was waiting for somebody to
Sorry.
jump in.
No, I just thought.
I was
I
ready to
didn't
go.
know
I
if
just
you
feel
were
like
finished.
I'm just talking so much. I keep going like,
No, I didn't know
hey.
if you'd finished your thought.
Oh yeah, I thought you had
Sorry.
more. You were,
No, go ahead. Somebody else
we were
talk
just
about
listening.
Talk about
so,
family. Go.
So
So first of all, Julia and her husband and the social worker, the adoption, all that stuff, right?
yeah, and they already have a son. Okay,
He looks like
came down.
a teenager, right?
Yeah. Looks like 13, 14. We didn't really get to see him or anything. Then they want to adopt, so she said she'd take a year off, and then obviously she's not.
Totally reneging on that agreement.
Yeah. Which I feel like maybe he didn't realize this, obviously going into it, and maybe he doesn't work for the theater. Obviously not, since he hates it.
Yeah, he hates the theater.
But I just feel like, especially when art and career is so intertwined, it's just going to be a part of his life. You can't like take a break from, a certain part of that's a part of you as a person.
Passion, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's a killer. It can be a killer. It's really hard to deal with.
It is. That's why, the industry relationships are really difficult.
Yeah.
So.
He seemed a little supportive though when they were talking about the director, and then she was going on this rant about how she hated him, and then the husband said, "Oh, but look, he liked your video on YouTube." And she jumped in bed and was like, "Yeah," and she said, "Oh, well, he's really smart, So it was nice. Yeah, it was nice that he was on her team. in that
Yeah,
situation,
that's true.
so.
The sort of
Yeah.
begrudging. Was that's probably her career is probably what has created their life.
Right.
She's
Yeah.
obviously very famous. Social worker knew who she was. So, I also liked the family thing. Really kind of hit home because obviously we all have families, but it hit home for me because the thing about Katharine McPhee's character going out to dinner with her parents, right? She's got this awesome hubba boyfriend with a British accent who adores her.
OMG.
He's going to have to do something wrong pretty quick here.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's going to get very boring
might
because
not
we'll just be
happen.
like drooling at him the whole time.
Yeah, like talk about perfect boyfriend ever.
And a British accent.
Supportive. And,
Yeah, and a British accent. Supportive, defends her in the purpose.
Are you working on your accent in there, somebody?
It's just me clearing my throat.
Oh, okay.
Oh, good.
So that you can work on your British accent?
Does Phil have an
Yeah.
accent? I know.
Oh no, actually, his British one is worse.
No, I just don't like hearing this about some guy on TV when we have. I mean, we obviously have very gorgeous women on AfterBuzz TV, but then there's a lot of hot guys, and fine,
There are
you're just
hot
throwing them
guys.
under the bus. F that.
We weren't throwing any.
Oh, I don't know. I feel like someone in this room / studio took it personally.
I know.
But who knows? I wouldn't, 'cause since my boyfriend is
Wow.
perfect.
So she goes to dinner. They go to dinner with her family, and they talk about unsupportive parents. Oh, it's so expensive here. We just
From the Midwest.
Yeah.
Oh. Well, basically, which part? Okay, yeah.
well-
the mom. Well, we just don't want you to be
We
disappointed.
just don't want you to be disappointed. We just know that there's so much rejection.
We
and
worry
failure.
about you.
Yeah, we worry.
And the father said,
no, we know you're not working. We know.
We know
You're
father
just
you're poor.
Whenever you're gonna give it up, yeah, and the dad. Oh,
He said,
we know you're a waitress, and
and
your
the
boyfriend,
super god boyfriend. She's not a
super
waitress.
god. She's an
and the
actor.
father said, dreams don't mix with reality.
Oh, that sounded exactly like my parents do. Actually,
Oh,
that's
I'm sorry.
exactly yeah. Well, obviously that didn't work. So, but yeah. Basically, like that conversation, along with Ivy's parents' conversation, is a melding of exact conversations I've had.
Yeah.
Where we want to protect you.
Right.
We don't want you to get hurt.
Right.
Like we don't want all this whatever. And it's like,
They mean well.
yeah.
I'm not talking about my parents.
That's probably
they're
smart.
perfect. But I will say that
Good.
I've had this conversation a lot of times with a lot of people because I hang out with creative types, right? And super successful, not super successful. It's all over the place. But some version of that is true for almost everyone. A lot of times what I find is there are parents who will say, we don't want you to be disappointed. We don't want your feelings to get hurt. We care about you. We worry about you, right? Then there are the other parents who do it kind of covertly. And they go, you're not really that talented, but in a different, it's not that obvious. They go, well, maybe you should finish college because what if maybe they just don't like your overall look? And it's this kind of backhanded sort of sabotage like we were talking about.
Yeah.
And they do it, God bless them, they do it to try to protect you. And they don't say straight out that this is what they're doing. It's kind of a little around,
Passive aggressive.
Hey,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's how it used to be until I called my parents out. I was like,
good for you.
Yeah, I was like, come on, you don't want me to do it. Just say it. If once you say it, then
we can deal with it,
yeah,
right?
Exactly.
I know that you're upset.
All right. Phil got a few sound bites.
He did.
He's having some fun.
Fill in the sound bites. Then we had Ivy calling her, I assume it was her mom on the phone back home, right? Drinking a glass of wine. She's alone going, Mom, this is so exciting. Guess what happened? And that was kind of an example of the thing I was talking about.
Yeah.
She's like, well, no, I didn't know that about Jimmy. Can't we talk about me for a minute? No, Mom just moved her right along. She doesn't want her to get excited, doesn't want her, right?
That's exactly what my mom does too. She's like, oh, the callback. Like, come on. Like, you remember, I told you about it. She's like, I don't know. No. And one time on one of the biggest auditions I've ever gone on, right before I left the house and I was taking a flight, like it was like the seventh callback of whatever.
Oh my God.
And I was like, okay, I'm just gonna yell bye because like I don't even want to see her face, whatever she's gonna say to me. And she was like, well, I hope you get what you want.
Oh my God, I hope you get what you want.
And I was like, oh God, it was awful. It was awful. But yeah, that totally happens. And it's a scary industry. I just feel like if someone's going to pursue it, they're going to pursue it.
Yeah, and it's that there's a really difficult balance to strike. And this doesn't just apply to the entertainment business. It has to do with anything that is a hope and a dream. There's that balance that you want to maintain between being excited and enjoying that experience, but not building it up so much that when you don't get it, because most of the time you don't. I mean, let's just look at the odds. Most of the time you're not going to get whatever it is and be devastated afterwards. And so there's that careful balance of, and I know people who live their lives never getting excited because they don't ever want to be disappointed. And it's sad.
That is sad.
For me.
Because they'll never get excited.
Yeah, it works for them though.
Yeah, it's
unless
true.
they're talking to me, and then it doesn't work.
Like, come on, get excited!
This is cool. And they go, yeah, it's cool. Good for you.
Exactly.
Yeah, I know those people. Okay, what else about family did we have?
I feel like...
Just an inspirational song for everyone out there. No? It's coming.
I don't know this.
We're waiting.
Oh no, this is the instrumental. Why do they?
Oh God. Anyway, Deborah Messing's. Oh, we talked about that.
It's not instrumental. I swear it's relevant.
This is one of those songs that only you know.
Keep swearing, Phil.
He really knows.
Oh, something about you can't get what you want.
What happened to the Smash music?
No, play the Rolling Stones song.
Yeah, that's the one you should play.
Phil, your taste in music.
Turn it off,
Phil. Please.
Okay, moving on, Phil.
Win. Yeah.
To win, guys. Live to win.
No.
Follow your dream.
All right. Anyway,
That's
so
what that was.
Anjelica Huston's family situation is also a family, but it's actually the divorce with her
I want to know
husband.
more about her.
We'll
get more.
Does she have? Did they mention anything about kids?
No, they didn't mention it. And they look like the kind of couple who wouldn't have kids.
Yeah, because they obviously work very hard. So I don't know when they would have time to do that.
She did mention they had some good years together.
Yeah.
I guess way like a long time ago. I don't know if she
It was
said
a
how many
ways
years
back.
they were married.
No, I don't
No.
remember hearing how many years they were married.
We just know that he's a D-bag.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would also kind of consider the relationship that's beginning between Ellis, the assistant, and Tom / Julia. That kind of is a family sort of scenario.
Yeah. They're getting really close.
Well, and he created a tea drawer and reorganized the whatevers. I was trying to take notes furiously then, so I didn't see it all. But it sort of felt a little bit like a familial relationship. And Ellis is very much involved in the decision-making processes, and he's the one who said you should do a
give him
musical
a
about
lot
Marilyn.
of power.
Yeah,
They
they
give him a lot
even
of power.
fired and rehired him.
I know they rehired him, which I totally. I mean, I guess because it was a hit, but that's so illegal and so messed up.
To do what?
Really?
To record
Oh,
a
the
song that's
recording.
not
Oh,
even,
that,
or
yeah.
like a first draft of a song and put it up on YouTube, like while someone's doing it for like rehearsal. It's just like so messed up in
Yeah.
so many ways. I would be like, especially if they're really famous or successful.
Oh, good
I feel
heavens.
like the lawsuits.
But it didn't get too many hits. Did they say how many hits it got?
No, they didn't say. Did it?
It may have
Well-
been just up, and then 5 people saw it.
No, it was more than 5.
It wasn't more?
Yeah, because it was. He said it's everywhere. The
Yeah.
Oh, I
husband,
didn't
when he
hear
was
that.
watching, he said it's
Yeah.
everywhere.
Okay.
It's everywhere.
That's the reason why they weren't mad, because they were like, oh,
It turns
it's-
out we're going to be a hit.
yeah.
Right. Okay.
It's the reason why everyone loves it or is excited for it,
I
whatever.
missed that.
Okay.
I was writing notes.
Next time,
Yeah.
on other
pay
things.
attention. So I want to throw. I want to throw an extra topic in with you guys, and that is the overall appearance / theme of the show. There were a couple of things that I really liked, and I wanted to throw them out to you. It felt like a regular TV show in the beginning, and then it segued into later in the show more like a musical. I mean, I know they did do the switch montage where I'm singing the song and I'm actually on stage. No, you're not. You're in an audition, and that transfer between the worlds of the fantasy and the reality. But it really felt like the last song that they did, the montage, which was an original song that ended up being a duet between the two leads. I thought that was just lovely and such a musical theater moment, the way it felt, because you were seeing just little snippets of things with the songs, and it wasn't singing in the background. They were absolutely singing. We were watching them sing. I loved that.
Yeah.
So how did you guys feel about as I said, the overall
The look.
the look and the concept and how the show was portrayed?
I thought it was good. That last part you were talking about kind of, led to this ending. I thought, we would have heard who got the gig, but I guess that's
I think it's
Then
going to
I
take a
draw
little
that
while
out.
to
Yeah.
hear that.
yeah. But maybe I'm naive in that world, but I don't know. I just was waiting for at least something.
Yeah.
You wanted to know
or
the
a
answer?
reaction from the panel, something before next week.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Draw that out. That's exactly
saying.
so much like the real world. It's like,
Yeah.
you'll
yeah.
never know, maybe.
How many callbacks was that? 7?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. It could go on for 7 more weeks.
Well, yeah, in the previews,
never
it
even
looks
We
like
never know.
we're
I
gonna
know.
have a lot of callbacks.
Yeah. Well, I really like that end piece too.
Yeah.
That was really cool. And I like how, at least I'm pretty sure that the original music, I think it's really good.
Yeah.
And it's
Well, it's Mark Shaman, who because we went on the air right after we watched it, he's been Oscar nominated many, many times. He did a lot of the music. So it better be good.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, and they've spent a lot of money and
Yeah.
are putting a lot into this show. It's
a
backed by Steven
Spielberg.
Spielberg.
Right.
yeah, it's
Exactly.
being advertised everywhere.
Yeah.
Speaking of the tone and the look of the show and that musical theater, I can't think of how I'm trying to say this, but anyway, there was the scene where Ellis comes back with croissants and wants to get his job back, and he does his monologue of, I did props in such and such and so and so,
Oh, yeah.
and it was
Yeah.
the one place
I
I
was
felt happy,
home.
and I thought that was cheesy.
Yeah.
That did not work
That
for
was
me.
Macaroni Tony. That's how cheesy that was.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and
I thought it was
I
cheesy
didn't,
too.
and I
It
didn't
fit.
think it was his performance. I felt like it was shot wrong.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Yeah. See, I
because
wouldn't know
it
what
just
to
felt
change about
very
that.
presentational to me. I didn't connect with it, and I'm a sucker for that stuff, but it didn't work for me.
Yeah.
Do you feel like it was the writing at all, or just the way it was shot?
I mean, it could have been the writing, but I really felt it was more because we were sort of zooming in on him, and he was standing there and kind of, gosh darn, it made me feel whole. And
Yeah.
I just felt, I think it was the directing.
I didn't like it either. I didn't like it either. I so did not.
Yeah.
Because-
It was uncomfortable because when Deborah Messing's character was kind of like, wait for me, kind of. I think she was trying to say, wait, what just happened? And it happened so quickly, but not necessarily genuinely.
Yeah.
You know, it was weird.
Yeah, it didn't feel genuine.
Yeah. It didn't. But Ellis still is a big character, and obviously something's going to happen with that.
Yeah. So, do you think he's gay, or do you think he's straight?
Yeah, definitely gay.
Gay. Totally gay. I think so.
Yeah. He organized everything. No offense, Phil. Reading a Marilyn book, too.
Wears a vest and a tie.
Oh, yeah, please. Lives in New York, is an assistant to these songwriters. I don't know.
No, he's not straight. He just can't possibly be
No,
straight.
he just can't be. And he's way too, well dressed and, good looking for that.
Okay, and then the other thing I must talk about is Karen getting called to Derek the director's apartment at 10:30 at night.
Uncomfortable.
Which is so
I know. I already
funny.
know what you thought of it because I know you so well.
Oh, yeah. Well, I guess not everyone else.
Creepy.
Yeah,
creepy.
such a
Yeah, because I'm
creeper.
sitting next to you and we're both like,
I was saying that
Disgusting.
too.
And that guy
I'm
is
like-
such a douchebag, obviously, apparently he's a horrible person, a horrible human being, but we don't really hear what happened before, right?
right.
Okay, because apparently he's just the worst. Obviously, he's just the kind of guy that would do something creepy like that and not even feel bad about it. Call her over there, just tell her again that she's not sexy, and then
Have her prove that she.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
just seemed so. He had such an ulterior motive.
yeah.
I'm glad
But-
she didn't fall. for it.
And I don't know. I've been out of the game for a while, so I don't know about the whole casting couch thing. But I thought it was just completely unprofessional on everybody's part.
Yeah, absolutely.
10:30 at night, whiskey, her coming out and going, "Okay, I'll be naked with you,"
Yeah, that's not.
and then
That's how.
just none of it.
That's how
and
green
maybe-
she was.
Well, and I don't know. People can call in and let us know, anonymously tweet us or something, and
there's
let us
a
know
lot
if
of
that's the
creepy
real.
auditions. There's a lot of creepy, and there's a lot of creepy casting people who will take advantage of actresses. Mm-hmm. Oof. Recently, actually, I went on this audition, and I was told by a friend about it, but I didn't get all the details because when I got in, the guy was like, okay, so it's just this table of the creepiest people you'll ever see, all guys, and this slimy guy in the front is like, okay, so let's do this scene, and step 4, let's talk about the comfort levels. So 1 is it's just funny, you're just grabbing your boobs and grabbing your girlfriend's boobs, whatever. You guys are just playing around. 2 is you're kind of falling out. 3 is
Went through
whatever.
Each number.
Yeah, he went through each number, and I was already on my way out the door, and
Good.
and he went all the way to basically porn, is what it seemed like, and I was like, none of that. Should I even read? He's like, no. So it was awful, though. It was ew. Do people come in here and do that? That's awful.
do, sadly.
There's so many actresses that.
And of course it happens. Of course it happens. But I wonder, does it happen on that level? Where this guy's super successful doing world-class Broadway and London productions. And is it that overt? Does he
Yeah.
come in at 10:30 at night, whiskey, and
Yeah, clearly he's not trying to hide
you
it.
need to be sexy?
Yeah, clearly he's like, that's what you wore.
I thought it was good that she, walked out. And
Yes.
2, that they showed that she still was in the running after
Yes.
walking out. Because anywhere else, I would assume they would say, "Oh, she's out because she didn't do anything with him."
Sure.
So that was a good part of it, I think.
Yeah. I really wonder. I hope it doesn't happen that way that often at that level.
Yeah.
It's just me being idealistic. I
hope
think.
so too. Obviously, it happens and stuff. I really hope it doesn't happen that much or like that. That's really gross. And she did the whole thing where she went up but she proved it to him anyway.
I felt like she went too far.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah.
She was
too.
she was mostly naked straddling him.
Yeah.
I think someone who, and maybe this is part of her character arc, but someone who respects themselves would figure out a way to do it without doing that.
Yeah. Yeah.
But maybe the point of it is that she has her self-loathing as well and had to do something that that was how maybe that's part of the character. But I felt like she was so much more of a person of strong character.
Yeah.
That when she steeled herself and put on the shirt and came back out, it felt to me like that character wouldn't go that far.
Yeah. I felt
agree?
that too.
Kendra?
Yeah, but maybe that was part of the growth of her character. Maybe we were just getting more of a glimpse of how her mind works.
Yeah.
Maybe she was, because even in prepping with her boyfriend, I feel like she was she had
Tentative.
lower self-esteem than maybe she appears to have in other
That's
contexts.
true. That's a good point.
And so maybe
That's a
it
good
was
point.
kind of like, because she was panicking in the bathroom too.
Yes.
She was like, oh my gosh. And then I think going to that extreme and then telling him it's not going to happen was her kind of defense. I don't know. That's how I analyzed that.
Yeah.
Situation.
Yeah.
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 I think that's a good point. And interesting that Ivy had a similar, she was puking in the bathroom.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
She's supposed to be this gal with 10 years of Broadway experience or 11 years of Broadway experience, hot shot, but obviously still has her own demons as well.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
we all do.
Or her
Still gets
routine.
nervous.
Maybe
Right. Oh,
that's
that's
her
true,
good luck
too.
charm. Maybe.
Look at you, Miss
Sorry.
Yeah,
Insightful.
you know that. Like, listen.
No, well, anyway.
But it's true.
That's good.
I'm
Don't
just
be
saying.
embarrassed. That's good.
Yeah, that's good.
No,
That's a
I'm
good
not
one.
embarrassed. I'm just. That's what I mean. It could be her thing.
Yeah,
She
it
always
could
gets
be.
something when she throws up before,
Yeah. That's true.
Nasty taste in her mouth and rotted enamel. That's what she gets.
Yeah, and also that ruins your vocal cords.
And wrecks your vocal
voice.
cords.
It's like, why?
Yeah.
But, it's people.
Maybe they'll get into that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
they'll
what I
look
thought
into
because Katharine McPhee had bulimia.
Yes.
And she came out with it. She's actually from Sherman Oaks.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I remember that.
It's
That's
very
right.
close to the AFTERBUZZ studio.
That is. It's just
for
down that
everyone.
way.
That's my hood.
It is.
Yeah, so.
Very
crazy.
interesting. So I think we should go to our first commercial break at this point, don't you think?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
let's do it.
AfterBuzz TV.
Hi, I was once like you, a lazy, angry loner whose only joy was watching TV and surfing the net. And, like you, after I'd see one of my favorite TV shows, I'd be so excited and have so many questions that I'd actually have to talk to my douchebag coworkers about it at the water cooler. Then I discovered AfterBuzzTV.com. AfterBuzz TV produces after-show webcasts and podcasts for TV series of all kinds, like post-game wrap-up shows for all your favorite TV shows. AfterBuzz TV hosts are industry insiders who break down episodes of shows, take calls from fans, and interview cast and crew from each series, with over 60 different after shows, from Boardwalk Empire to American Idol to Vampire Diaries to Real Housewives, and more. Now, after a night of TV, I can ignore my stupid coworkers, who I hate, and go straight to my desk and watch or listen to all my favorite AfterBuzz TV after shows, and have all the TV fan interaction I need. Thank you, AfterBuzz TV.
AfterBuzz TV. What do you want to buzz about?
What do you want to buzz about? I, Phil, would like to go straight into predictions from here because since this is the beginning of the entire series, we've got some predictions to make, so we're going to go with that.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
because it was the pilot, if you'll notice, after this show, they didn't show coming up next week on Smash. They went, here's what you're going to see at some point in the next 12 episodes.
That's true. That's true.
So there was a lot going on. So based on that, Kendra, I need to hear from you. What do you think?
Well,
What are some predictions that you have?
I didn't predict that they would string the whole, the production throughout the whole season, which, I mean, I guess it makes sense, but I guess that will allow us to kind of delve deeper into each character and that see the whole process of how a production is created.
Yes.
So yeah, I think we'll hear more about Katharine McPhee's character, Karen, find out hopefully more about her demons or whatever is holding her back from really performing. And maybe it'll just be like a Karen versus Ivy show,
Okay.
Maybe. I don't know. That's
Who do you think's gonna get the part?
Yeah, that was my question too.
Ooh, that was tough because you could see both of them in the hair and makeup. If I were to guess, I would say Katharine McPhee's character gets it. What do you think?
So Karen's gonna get the job.
I think so. Or yes, Karen
gonna
will
get
get
the
it,
lead.
and Ivy will be the understudy.
Ooh, understudy.
That'll- Because if Karen gets the understudy, that's kind of expected, and
And then
because
Because
Ivy
she
will
doesn't
get
have all of
sick
the-
too, and then she'll like go on opening night.
yes.
Maybe it'll be double
sure.
cast.
Maybe that too. That's true.
What do you think,
I think
Michelle?
in the real world, Ivy would get cast. She
Yeah.
obviously has experience. They can
Yeah.
trust her to carry the show.
Yeah.
She's an amazing voice. She looks the part.
Yeah. She would be the
but in the
safer
fake
of the two
world-
Yeah,
choices.
exactly. Yeah.
But in
In the fake world,
that
you
Yeah.
can sing a Christina Aguilera song at an audition.
exactly.
exactly.
Full instrumental.
That's right.
Yeah.
That was
Awesome.
funny.
Any other predictions, Kendra?
Oh my gosh.
You don't have to come up with anything if you don't have anything right away.
I'm just. Those are.
Those are your main ones?
Yeah.
Okay.
For now, yeah.
Okay. Michelle?
Yeah, basically the understudy thing is interesting. I think that definitely could be a possibility.
'Cause it'll
I
cause
think they'll
some-
both be cast in the show.
Somehow or another.
And I think they're going to have to cooperate or deal with each other throughout the season. So I think that they're both going to get a part. I don't know if one of them is going to get, there's more than one part. So
Right. What about do you think that it is going that the finale will be opening night of the show? The finale of season 1 will be the opening night of the show.
Interesting.
yeah, I think that they're
I
going to
mean,
take us through the whole.
Yeah.
That's sort of what I'm thinking
Yeah.
because again, we get to go see all the behind the scenes. It's basically a soap opera. It is a soap opera behind the scenes of any production. There's so
Yeah.
much that happens that's what I think is going to happen is
Yeah.
that the finale of season 1 will be opening night of the show.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, that's a good. Yeah.
I think that'll be interesting. So you think Ivy is going to be cast as the lead?
Yeah, but as of now, the audience is probably more on Karen's side
Yes.
because she's the underdog. So.
Yes.
But also in the predictions or whatever for the next episode, it said that Ivy was sleeping with him,
The director,
maybe.
yes.
So I think Ivy's gonna get it.
She probably was doing that before Karen showed up, right?
Could be.
Ivy
Could be.
Could be.
He was probably playing both, just to see.
Yeah,
What a wretched
right?
human. What
know.
I know,
wretched
that's
humans do that
disgusting.
kind of stuff.
I know.
I sleep really well at night, but that's why I'm not more successful because I don't do stuff like that.
You know what? It's better to sleep.
Better to sleep
Yes.
than
Yeah.
count my money.
Yeah,
Clearly, that's what I've chosen, so that's okay.
it is. It is.
What about there could be injuries, there could be illness that could knock people out all along. What about the baby that might be coming into the family for
The adoption.
what's her name? Okay, I'll get him. Julia.
Julia.
Yeah.
How will that change things? And do you wonder if they're taking something like Spider-Man, or they're probably taking lots and lots of shows as fodder for what happens all along to inspire what happens in the show? It could be that.
Yeah, all of those things. I think definitely with the injuries and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Now, who are the characters that you really want to spend more time with next week? Let's talk about that.
I would say Karen
and Ivy.
Ivy, yeah. I feel like Julia is kind of what you see is what you get. I don't feel like I need to really get into her further. I mean, I welcome it, but
right.
I just feel like she's kind of presented herself already.
Right.
And
I'm looking forward to seeing more of Dev, the boyfriend.
Oh,
we know.
Yeah, obviously.
He's pretty. He's dreamy. But also, I do want to see more of Ellis. I think he's interesting, the assistant.
Yeah.
I think he's an interesting character. As much as I didn't like that one scene he had, I think he's an interesting character. And
do you think he actually sent the video to his mom, or do you think he posted it?
No, I don't.
I think he was lying.
He leaked it.
Yeah, he totally lied. It was kind of obvious. In his face or something, he just didn't look like he was telling the truth.
I only sent it to my mom.
I wonder if
I don't think he's
Dev. It's Dev, right?
Dev.
I wonder if he's going to turn out to be shady and maybe he's in cahoots with Ellis.
With
I'm
the
going to
thing,
just go straight
like
to it.
Devil Wears Prada and all this stuff. Like I feel,
and he's so perfect.
He's so perfect that he's just not gonna.
Right.
He deserves, the attention that he wants or whatever. But he's just not gonna stick around.
Yeah.
To be,
her support the whole time.
Yeah. And to be like her fan club, her support. I just think he's not gonna do that.
Well, I'm gonna tell you right now, he's in 15 episodes this season.
So
he's not going away anytime
He
soon.
may be shady,
But
though.
there will also be backstage romances, backstage shenanigans.
Dev's going to end up with Ivy. It's just going to go downhill from there.
Whoa. What a prediction.
Sorry, it's because you think he's squeaky clean. So
Wow.
Yeah.
There we go.
we need some conflict.
All right. Any other predictions, ladies? Any other things you want to get out? Check your notes. Is there anything I've missed?
No.
I am looking forward to the show. The one thing I will say is it was hyped a lot, and I think it lived up to the hype. I think it could be a really, really good show, and I'm looking forward to the next season. It could be a smash.
Where's that sound effect?
Oh no.
But a little rim shot. No, he can't do two
I
at
get
once.
nothing.
No.
Thanks, Phil.
Well, the one thing I do want to add, since it's obviously a first show for us in terms of Smash and all that, so if you are listening to this, the way AfterBuzz works, we air live on AfterBuzzTV.com. You can subscribe to us on iTunes, and we post the videos up on YouTube.
And you can subscribe on YouTube too.
Yes, you can, and just basically just go to AfterBuzzTV.com. You'll see everything there. And, these guys do such a great job. They do it, they're volunteers. Everything that we do is for free for you. And if, they have such a short amount of time to get out all of their thoughts. They have so many thoughts. So in case they miss something, feel free to tweet them at, let's start with Tammy.
I am at Tamara Jewelry, TAMARAJEWELRY. That's hard for some people to spell.
So I've heard.
Yes. Kendra?
I'm at Kendra Kabasele, KendraKabasele.
I'm at Michelle Macedo, M. Michelle, 2 L's, MACEDO.
And the letter M. Yeah, so tweet us. Also, we have, you can make comments on Facebook. If you have questions, we'll try to answer them. Let us know. It's exciting, though. So we will see you all. Yes?
And if you guys, for those of you listening, you might have heard some inside jokes. If you feel left out, that's because you missed all of, Tammy did so many episodes of Glee Project, Intervention, and Sing Off, and all this other stuff.
Watch the Sing Off. If you guys like the show, watch the Sing Off ones. They're good.
There you go. And Michelle's done countless shows, as well as Kendra, you've done now Scouted, Terra Nova. What else you got?
This, and I'll be doing The Help at the Oscars.
There you go. So these girls do a lot. So there's a lot of insider knowledge that you are missing out on.
Yeah, so stick with us. We will see you next week for Smash. See you next week.
From producers Kevin Undergaro and Phil Svitek, engineer DJ Jesse Janity, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. If you have questions or comments, be sure to buzz us at info@AfterBuzzTV.com. And you can find us on Facebook or follow us on Twitter by searching for AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.